Hi, and welcome to OTH Sports View. I'm Times Herald Sports Editor Chuck Pollock. A little bit of a different format today in that we have a guest rather than our other Times Herald staffers. And the reason is it's kind of a milestone year for Olean High School football. After 27 years, Mike Kane is no longer coach of the Olean High School football team. He retired last June. His last coaching job was last October. And as a result, his successor has become not only a person who played football at Olean High, but also coached there 21 years. But now he's the boss. And Phil, I gotta say, when I got out of college, majoring in what I did, radio, TV, I wanted a job someplace. But there was a part of me that felt like I would love to go back to my hometown, the Albany area, just to show, to kind of vindicate the fact that I could do it there, I could survive there. Right. You're living that. As an assistant, it's one thing, but for you to be in charge, I got to think this is like a dream come true.
It is. And first of all, thanks for having me here. It really is. It's a dream come true. It's something that I always wanted to do. I felt like the years that I put in under Mike, and Mike did a tremendous job of always trying to prepare me. Hey, Vec, you got to remember to do this. You got to think about this. And, you know, it was almost like a mentorship or a tutorship for that time. And, you know, I can't give Mike enough credit for helping me prepare, you know, the coaches, all the coaches, because 21 years, you know, working in the, I mean, there's a lot of rollover. There's a lot of different people. Right. And, you know, that's a great thing because you can learn from each person that you coach with and that you interact with, and you know, good things and bad things. You know, you got to be able to learn both those things. But you know, I can honestly say, between all the coaches that I've worked with, I've been able to take positive things from all of them.
What's interesting to me about you taking the job, at 47, you're a lot older than a lot of people taking over as head coaches. But what's interesting to me about that is the whole circumstance where, with all your experience, being head coach is different.
Oh, it's definitely different. There's no question about it. Just the responsibilities that the head coach has, making sure all the kids get their physicals so that they're able to participate legally, and you know, there's a million other things. I giggled you put that in there. I mean, when we talked last week, we probably were interrupted 7 times, right? Because, well, they must not have any manners. But I mean, that's the little things. You know, the media responsibilities. You know, I had a guy from the Buffalo News call me last night. That's never happened. You know what I mean? When you're assistant, you know, you worry about your guys. You know, I've been a defensive line coach the last, you know, 10 years here, and, you know, those were my guys, and that's all, you know. And I was a defensive coordinator, so I had to worry about the whole package, but, you know, you feel tighter to the group that you're coaching. And I'm still doing that, but now, you know, it's much more than that, you know what I mean? You have to know more about the offense. You have to have more input to special teams and things like that.
It's interesting to me that there was a stretch under Mike Kane, 7 years, where Olean High was awfully good.
Yeah.
Won a couple of titles. In fact, I don't think there's any cause and effect, but I believe you weren't on the staff.
Yeah.
But the point is, that was a good stretch.
Yeah.
The last 10 years, not so much. 1 winning record, 1 playoff appearance. You've been a part of the staff. What's your take on what has happened during that stretch?
I can go back to '94 and '95 though. I was on that staff when we won 2 there. But you know, the older you get, I guess this is one thing you understand. A lot of the times, you know, we all care about X's and O's and getting in the right scheme and coaching up your players as best as you can. But it's the old saying. A lot of times it's not the X's and O's, it's Jimmy's and Joe's. I mean, you got to have good players. You got to have good players. And we've had a stretch of solid, tremendous players. We've had good quarterbacks for the last 8 to 10 years. I mean, since I've been back. You go back to Chris White, Chancey Anzavine, we had Pat Shola, the list goes on. We've had guys that can sling it around, but just for whatever reason, we haven't been able to get it done. It's not like our records have been. I mean, last year we were 2-5, but a lot of those have been 3-4s and 4-3s, and it's not like we're going 0 for every year. And the talent is there, but it's our job to try to get us to the next step, and really try to get over that hump and get us back in the playoffs. That's the goal for us.
One of the things that stuck out to me when we did the interview for the piece, the cover edition of on the football edition, was the fact that you had 22 players. Now I'm hoping you still have 22.
We're actually down to 21.
That's not a good number for a school Olean size, and as you well know, numbers have been a particular problem in the entire Big 30 area, and there are a lot of programs that would be deceased were it not for mergers. You're not in a situation where you could do that unless you got maybe a kid or two from Hinsdale or Walsh, if in fact that would be allowed. But the idea is, numbers have got to be a concern for you.
This year, yes. Now, the last 3 years, we've had over 30 kids on varsity, and we just happened to graduate 20 seniors last year. So that has a lot to do with kind of the number crunch this year. We got over 30 on the JVs. We got 27, 20 out for modified. So there's no question more kids need to come up. There's no question about that. But the thing I feel confident with this year is, even though that number is 21 now, we still have pretty capable subs at every position. So hopefully that will keep going. You know how the wear and tear of a season goes. And I mean, we got to get lucky as far as the injury bug goes.
It's a reality that a school your size can't do what a lot of some of the smaller schools in the Big 30 area do, and that is bring up freshmen. You can't even think about that.
No.
Your 21 players are 10 through 12,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's a degree of reluctance on your part even to play sophomores.
Right. We're going to have 2 sophomores on the varsity, and they're both really, really talented kids. And I would love for them to stay on JVs for another year and really build confidence and be able to have really good years there. But I'm pretty confident they're going to have good years on the varsity. They're 2 real good players, and we're looking forward to them certainly for the next 3 years.
Final question. This is a time for supreme optimism among all football coaches. But as you look at this team and the way the schedule plays out, what's a reasonable expectation on your part for this season?
I try not to get into prediction business, and I don't want to go all Nick Saban on you here, but we really need to take things one day at a time. We need to get better in practice tomorrow than we were today, and we need to keep that going. And I just talked to these guys about this very same thing: is let's not focus on wins and losses. Let's not focus on let's just focus on this play and playing this play and winning this play. And if we win the play, then things are going to be good at the end of the game. Pretty confident in that.
Phil Vecchio, I very much appreciate you coming by and talking with us on OTH Sports View. We'll have another edition of OTH Sports View later this week. Thanks for watching.